Hey everybody, Todd Vandermeid back for another edition of Freedom Steel. We've got some breaking news this morning. Let's hit the intro and then cue the alert. Hey everybody, Todd Vandermeid, former NRA contract lobbyist, Illinois gun law guru, the gun Santa or tactical Santa as I've been called on Reddit, and I'm here. Yes, I know it's been a while. Life gets in the way of things when this isn't a full-time professional job, but we've got some breaking news, so let's cue the alert. So this morning, my phone started blowing up, and this is going to be a short video as I got to get to the hospital. My wife got checked in for some health complications. But aside from that, so I started getting texts about the leadership at Chicago Fire Department doing warrantless searches of personal vehicles of on-duty fire officers. So there's a letter that was later sent to me that apparently confirms this action, and so I'm going to read the letter to you. This letter serves as formal demand that the city of Chicago and the Chicago Fire Department preserve all evidence relating to the searches of personal vehicles that occurred on February 27th through 28th, 2025 by various members of internal affairs and the command staff of the Chicago Fire Department and or various unnamed officials of the City of Chicago Fire Department and or City of Chicago. A lawsuit may be forthcoming regarding these incidents. You are hereby instructed to immediately take all necessary steps to preserve, protect, and maintain all records and all information in any form that may be relevant to this matter, including but not limited to all video footage from body cameras, dashboard cameras, and surveillance cameras in the vicinity of the searches. 2. All written reports, notes, communications related to the searches. 3. Any physical evidence collected during the searches. 4. Dispatch logs and radio communications surrounding this incident from February 27th to 28th, 2025. Page 2. 5. Any phone call records, any text messages and emails, or any communication in the medium made by and between officials of the Chicago Fire Department and or the City of Chicago involved in these searches. This preservation request extends to all electronic data, including emails, text messages, and other digital communications related to the incidents. Please ensure that all auto-delete functions are suspended for the relevant data and no potentially relevant information is destroyed, altered, or removed. To that end, 1. Order the applicable officials do not delete or, if applicable, suspend deletion, overriding, or any other destruction of electronic information relevant to the dispute that is under your control. This includes electronic information wherever it is stored at your workstation, on laptop, or at home. It includes all forms of electronic communication, e.g. email, word processing, calendars, voice messages, video, photographs, and information on your PDA. This electronic information must be preserved so it can be retrieved at a later time. The information must be preserved in its original electronic form so that all information contained within, whether visible or not, is also available for inspection. Similarly, have them preserve any new electronic information that is generated after you receive the letter that is relevant to the dispute. Preserve any hard copy under their control. Failure to comply with the preservation request may result in sanctions for spoliation of evidence. This is an essential legal duty, and failure to follow these instructions may result in legal consequences. If you have any questions regarding the scope of this request, please contact me immediately. Signed, Jerry Marzullo, Esquire, counsel for IAFF and AFFI Local 2. So what I'm hearing is that somebody within the city of Chicago or the Chicago Fire Department got their hands on a roster of Chicago Fire Department employees that have carry licenses. That's the backstory that I'm being told, that they got that, and I would wager that Chicago Fire Department or the city of Chicago probably has a no guns policy in personal vehicles when on city property. So while this on the face looks to, oh, it's Chicago firefighters. No, let's step back, and this is the legal stuff that I always try to delve in that's not right up here in front of your nose. Let's step back, because what is this really saying? This is saying that any governmental entity, employer, or private employer could put in place a no guns policy in your personal vehicle on their property, company property, governmental property, i.e., think about the post office. The post office says that you as a customer cannot leave a firearm in your vehicle if you go in to do an overnight letter, pick up a parcel or something like that. They disarm you. So using that as a backdrop or a framing of this issue, what you have is you have employers, in this case a public entity employer, a governmental employer, being able to disarm you, strip you of your right to self-defense to and from work. Now, let's take case of a firefighter. Maybe he's a newbie. He doesn't get a lot of bidding rights. Maybe he's being punished internally for something, and so he lives in a very nice neighborhood on the north side and is transferred over to the west side, the Austin area, or say the Inglewood area that is notorious in Chicago gangland stuff. And he now has to commute an hour through some of the worst neighborhoods in the city of Chicago, and he's prohibited from keeping a firearm in his personal vehicle as he travels to and from work because he can't have it at his end destination. We know in the beginning of Illinois' carry law, which is now, that was 2013 implementation, 2015. So we're 10 years into Illinois carry law. We saw Chicago Fire Department ambulances with the no gun stickers on the back of the ambulance, that somebody in the corporate council at the city of Chicago thought that they had to make it so explicit that if you were a concealed carry licensee, you were involved in something that required you to be transported to a hospital, that they had to slap a no gun sticker on the back of the ambulance. That's how retarded these people are. So here, I mean, yes, it's Chicago Fire Department, as I said, but there's a bigger issue, because we've had Antonuck and all those people arguing about sensitive places, and that's one side of the argument over here. But now think about if we allowed both governmental employers and private sector employers to sit there and disarm you because they have a no guns policy on their property that you're to and from work, you are now subject to. Say you're a construction guy and you're going to be working on a governmental project, all right? And in my trade as an operator, it wasn't uncommon for me to travel an hour one way to get to work, and even more depending on traffic. And now you're working, 79th in California. When I work down at the rail yards down there, paving and doing some stuff that you can't carry because the railroad has a policy, no firearms on their property, even though I take it off my belt, I put it in a secure compartment inside my truck, leave it there while I'm, going about my business about the day. And then when I get back in my vehicle and go home and have to drive through some of these shitty neighborhoods, that's what's really at stake here. That dovetails into the sensitive places. And there's already that one case about post offices that is hanging out there. And I forget what the disposition of that case is. But that's what's really behind this, because then your right to carry essentially is nullified because employers, governmental or private, could sit there and disarm you to and from work. So when would you carry? In your evening hours after the fact? On the weekends? I mean, it really neutralizes. You plan on stopping and doing stuff after hours. Oh, hey, I got to go get the vehicle washed. I got to go do some grocery shopping. I'm going to go pick up something I bought off Facebook Marketplace. Any of that stuff. No, no. So, hey, like I said, we're going to follow up on this. We're going to see where this all leads, because the other part of this is, why are governmental entities potentially getting their hands on lists of employees or others that have carry licenses if it's not a criminal investigation outright? Why is that information being made available to them potentially wholesale? So, hey, as always, please like, subscribe, copy, paste the link around, share it with all your friends. I'm trying to get more content out, guys. I know I say that. I'm trying to get more content out. Sometimes life just gets in the way of things. I've got some stuff to say about the Supreme Court and the recent oral arguments in Smith and Wesson. We've got some other stuff going on, as well as the NRA board election. So, unfortunately, my wife was taken to the hospital with some complications yesterday, and so that's kind of yesterday was supposed to be a video day, and I spent 16 hours in the emergency room. So she's doing okay. It's nothing critical at this point. We know that a lot of you guys are always offering thoughts and prayers and your best wishes for Amy and everything. So we really do appreciate that. It's not an excuse. Life just happens to get in the way when this YouTube gig is not a full-time job for me. I try to do it more as a way to get some thoughts across and help you guys out understanding some of the things that I think may be in play on some of the stuff. But as always, hey guys, thank you very much. Frag out.